Perfect. Yay. Thank you. In case anyone misses the meeting, that they can have access to this. So I really appreciate that. Smyrna feeling burned out. So parts to you. It's a busy time of year, and yeah, I send my love and blessings. Genesis, she's doing well, and the sunshine is helping. Bailey just had a big lunch, smiley face. Lisa feeling numb, but okay after going to the dentist. I know that feeling. I'm having to get an implant done, and that is no fun, but I'm grateful that I have partial insurance and that I could get it done. Lisa, oh, hi everyone. I'm feeling so excited. We got a Rainbow Club started at Canyon Oaks. It's amazing. This is Jessica Rennie. Yay, Jessica. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. And I'm now on the NVEA equity team, and I get to go to the CTA Equity and Humanity Conference this weekend. Big shout out. How exciting. Oh, that's wonderful. MJ, and I'm feeling happy. MJ is a 5th grade student. So happy that she is joining us. And Hannah, very happy after a run and enjoying a break from paid work, having a little more flexibility. So thank you so much for checking in. And I'd like to do a land acknowledgement. And like I said, on KQED, they were talking about, some people are saying land acknowledgements are not meaningful unless you have something that you're doing to make it better. You know, just acknowledging that this happened isn't going to change how people perceive it. So I'm hoping that this is meaningful, because we have action that we are actually doing to honor and be with Native Americans. So we would like to begin today by acknowledging that we are gathered on the ancestral and unceded land of the Patwin, Wapo, Miwok, and Pomo peoples, past and present. May we honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout the generations. And then I also like to take just a moment of silence to honor oppressed groups, Black people, Native American people, AAPI people, women, LGBTQ plus people, disabled people, and anyone that is oppressed. So if you just take a deep breath with me in a moment of silence. Like Charlie Toledo likes to remind me, breath is life. And that breath that you have and you give to your body is just precious. And so just want to honor the air and the trees and the rain, and that we can be together. Please note that we are using the name Wapo again instead of Onosatis on the recommendation of the local Wapo community. Onosatis is specific to the Mishawal Wapo, one band of the nation, and what they call themselves. Decolonizing naming is complex. So thank you, Hannah, for adding that. And I'll hand it over to Hannah.
Hi, and welcome everyone. I wanted to first ask if I can have a volunteer. I put the agenda in the chat a couple times. If someone could, it's open for anyone to add to. So if someone could just put notes in the right-hand column as we go, it'd be greatly appreciated. Do I have a volunteer? And if not, then Nancy and I can trade off if nobody feels comfortable.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. I had a nice bath, so
Okay.
we'll do our best to get it done.
And then in that case, Nancy, so, I just also wanted to let you all know that Dave Allred, who is our co-host, is picking up the kids who are presenting today. They're at aftercare, and so he will be logging on at about 4:15, and so we have a little time before then. Oh wait,
there he is. Hi, Dave.
I didn't.
I'm here.
He's early. can you go back to your
Yeah, I'm
spot?
just asking.
Afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Great. Hold on, my kid is asking me a question and then I was just about to present a little thing. So hold on one second. Yes, MJ, what?
So if you could write your name at the top of the agenda, and if you can access that, just ask me or one of us, and we can add your name in so we can know who is present.
Okay, so I wanted to give a little a little update about Teach Truth, which is kind of the sister organization of this group. This is kind of like a gathering. The council is really a gathering to share updates, and then Teach Truth is an organization that everyone is welcome to join, but it is project based, and so we take some of the ideas that come out of. Sometimes they come out of the council, sometimes they come out of other places in our community. And one of the projects, Teach Truth is very focused on education, public education in the community of all ages, and also public education, trying to decolonize curriculum and influence how the district is incorporating other narratives. So one of the projects, 100 Plaques project, I accidentally called it 1,000 plaques. So that was ambitious last time we met. It's 100 plaques right now. We just had our first plaque that was been working for the past year on several Native American plaques, but that is a very complicated process, as those of you who know, who work in that space understand. And this plaque, which is also called an interactive display, depending on who you talk to, came out of a walk that I did through Tule Cemetery with a friend of mine, and we discovered that the grave of abolitionist Black pioneer Mary Ellen Pleasant, who happens to be buried at Tule Cemetery, was in disrepair. It had been restored, relayed. The stone had been relayed in 2011, but there was quite a lot of stuff affixed to it and some markings on it, and the place was just kind of a mess. So we thought, what about getting the community together to clean up this place and honor this monument that Napa somehow has? She's known as the mother of civil rights in Napa. And then we discovered as well that a lot of people don't know that. Some who've been around for a while and are history buffs know her story well, but many, even people who teach Black history, even people who are African American and have grown up in California, weren't aware of her history. So it's very exciting, it's very upsetting, and yet also energizing when you find those kinds of situations. I think it's a reminder that we're all still students. There's so many stories that are yet to be discovered, and then stories that we may know ourselves, but ask your neighbor, do they know? Do they know who the first people were in the town they grew up in? Do they know who lived here before all of the white people in Napa? Because we have only been here for 150 years, if that. So I wanted to share. Several of you were there, so thank you. Cindy was our lone representative of the school board who was able to make it out in the pouring rain. Lilia Hine was there. She lent us the tent from First Five. Nancy came. It was really a wonderful, quite intimate community gathering. I will show you the plaque, and this is what we pulled together to have at the gravesite, and we had an unveiling of it. I will read it unless I have a volunteer. Dave or MJ, Dave, do you have one of your kids, or MJ, do you want to read it? Are those two words too complex?
I'm happy to read it if you'd like.
Okay.
This is California's mother of civil rights, abolitionist, entrepreneur, and philanthropist, Mary Ellen Pleasant changed lives and laws with her generosity and activism. She worked on the Underground Railroad across the country, created work and housing opportunities to African Americans in San Francisco, and fought for Black people to testify in court. She used the wealth she created to help others in need, especially formerly enslaved people and women. Mary Ellen Pleasant's self-proclaimed proudest achievement was her support and funding of John Brown's historic raid of Harper's Ferry. After the Civil War, she continued to battle for human rights, including a successful lawsuit to desegregate streetcars in San Francisco. She is said to have been the first African-American millionaire. Details about her life are disputed, but the fact that Mary Ellen Pleasant fought for justice and liberation is verified.
So one of the really amazing things that we discovered in this process, one thing we found is that everyone loves to talk about how she was the first African-American millionaire. I mean, I did too, because I put it on the plaque. But what she did is she used her wealth to support her people, to free her people. Like her whole, she called herself a capitalist, an entrepreneur, and she gave that back in really profound ways. So the students in the room, or anyone who's not familiar with Harper's Ferry, read up on it a little bit, because it's an amazing story. John Brown was an abolitionist, white man, and that raid, that is also mistakenly called a rebellion, but that raid to free slaves is credited as the start of the Civil War and the cause to free enslaved people. So when you put these pieces together of this woman's story has been, Mary Ellen Pleasant's story has been buried. It has been retold in horrible ways. And now finally she's getting some time in the sun to be celebrated. But when you put all the pieces together of the Mary Ellen Pleasant story, she bankrolled, she gave, in today's dollars, $1 million to John Brown to support his raid on Harper's Ferry. And in that way, you can say she was the funding of the start of the Civil War to free enslaved people. So that's a pretty cool story, and a lot of us didn't know about it pretty recently. So that there is also a video. I just wanted to share. Let's see, there's going to be an annoying ad, I'm afraid. Whoops. I'm going to stop share. I will put it in the chat. I'm gonna let because Dave's students are here, I'm gonna let this go back over to Dave and the agenda item that we are so excited about. Is that cool, Nancy? We may have skipped a couple of administrative items, but can we just get into the meat of it?
We can, and I have the thank yous in there because I wanted to just say all the great things that are happening, and thank you. And if there's time at the end, I'll go over those.
Yeah, let's do thank yous at the end, because we've got kids who need to be in the spotlight. Perfect.
Then I am so proud to present to my colleague, Dave Allred. He helped me found the Equity and Inclusivity Council, and he is in the classroom, just like Jessica is, and I'm not sure who else are teachers here, teaching equity and letting students have a voice. So Dave, I'm proud to introduce my Napa Valley Language Academy colleague and the Napa Valley Language Academy students.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave Allred. This is
Gia. Hi. Alicia.
Zoe. Hi.
And they're in my 5th grade class, and we're just going to talk a little bit about how we recently rewrote the Pledge of Allegiance, and they'll explain how that happened.
So first, the all began when every kid in the school had to say the Pledge of Allegiance every week and so. However, none of us understood what the Pledge of Allegiance was really talking about.
So one day, Mr. Allred took the class to the reg, and he asked us what words we didn't really understand from the Pledge of Allegiance. So then he circled them, and then he translated those words into kid-friendly words that we could understand, and then he wrote it himself, and then now we could understand it.
So one of the things we broke the words into pieces, for example, is invisible, indivisible, and no one knew what it meant. So he broke it down and told us it meant no one can divide us.
Then we translated the whole Pledge of Allegiance into a kid-friendly Pledge of Allegiance. And then after that, Mr. Allred took all our kid-friendly words and turned them into a rhyme. And here it is.
All right, so is it all right if I screen share? Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, move that thing out of the way. And we'll go like that. Okay, so here is the actual Pledge of Allegiance. And the thing that was, one of the things that was remarkable about this was that not a single person in my class, not the highest English language speaker, understood what they were talking about. Not one kid. I have 33 kids, and they've been saying it all these years. So here's the new one. You guys want to say it? Ready? 3, 2, and 1.
I
promise to be a part of the team of the United States for all those in need. Any color, race, any challenge we face, as one we will fail or succeed. No one can divide us because we are strong. We fight against bullies and rules that are wrong. With freedom and love under all gods above, our team, the U.S., will live on.
So there's the new one. And that's, so now when they, when they pledge their allegiance, they know what they're pledging. It's not a bunch of random words. It means something. They're promising, and we are the team. And they had a couple other things they wanted to say too.
So one change you will notice is how we change the phrase one nation under God into the phrase under all gods above.
So, as I said, indivisible meant no one can divide us.
Yeah, and we actually voted on that, like under all gods above. And they decided that's what they wanted to do. They thought it wasn't fair that it was that it was just, that it was just one nation under God. They said, what about all the other gods? So it was kind of a democratic, modeling the democratic structure, which which is what they're pledging their allegiance to. And so now we do it every week, and it's a much deeper, more meaningful experience for them.
Can we open it up to questions? Does anyone have a question for the students about the process?
I had one thing I was gonna. Do you have any questions before I was gonna
No,
explain?
go ahead, Dave.
The legality of it. So this originated actually because our principal, we have a new principal, and the principal has always done the Pledge of Allegiance in an all call, over the intercom. And she said she wasn't going to do that anymore, and that we had to do it. And we're like, oh man, we don't want to do that. So some of us pushed back, and we said, do we have to do it? And she said, I think so. And we looked up the legality of it, and this is what I found. So under California code, it says, California Education Code requires public elementary and secondary schools to conduct daily patriotic exercises, although schools may substitute other patriotic exercises for the Pledge of Allegiance. The answer is we do not have to read the Pledge of Allegiance as long as we just do something patriotic. And actually the kids didn't even know what patriotic was, so we went over that too. But the point is, the Pledge of Allegiance is not patriotic in the absence of understanding. It's just saying empty words. So there's a better way to do it.
Wow, how powerful. I am so proud of all of you. Thank you, Dave, for looking up what the California code is, and knowing that if someone tells you to do something, it's okay to ask questions of why and look things up and do things differently. And so how do you think, students, you could get the word out so maybe other 5th grade teachers would do this with their students, or maybe it could be something for all classrooms to do, because at the kindergarten level, they're going to choose different words than you did in 5th grade, and 12th graders would choose different words. And to get it out to principals, right? Maybe the school board, that you don't have to say the Pledge of Allegiance, just something that's patriotic. So it's very empowering. So thank you so much.
I think we could do.
But that's the question. How do you think you could encourage other teachers to do this same process?
So in my opinion, what we should do is like send forms about the one we made, or they can make their own that they feel that they could be honored with their own words.
Anybody else have an idea? You gonna say what you said? All right. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Might need to, I don't know. We have to ask parents. Legally, we don't, as long as it's patriotic. I actually wondered if I'd get some pushback from old-fashioned parents that said, I want my daughter or son to say the Pledge of Allegiance every day, but I didn't get anything. Not a peep.
What did you all determine patriotic means?
It means like care about your country, that you're committed to like a team.
And is there an official definition, Dave?
I'm certain there is. Let's see. Definition of patriotism. Quality of being patriotic. Well, that doesn't help us very much. Let's see. Patriotic, having or expressing devotion to and vigorous support for one's country. You support your country, which is exactly what Gio said.
And how did this exercise overlap with your work with the Rainbow Kit and having a pride flag? And did you talk about the significance of flags?
Yeah, you want to see the picture? It's good thing you asked that. Let's see, here we go. Here's where I have it on the board. Let's see, slideshow. And you notice what's up in the top right corner? It's pride flag. So I have the American flag. You can't see it because I couldn't get my camera to get all this, but there's American flag above the pride flag, and you can pledge allegiance to either flag. They're both up there, or both. But this is the same place on the rug we discuss all that stuff. We just got done with reading a couple books from the Rainbow Kit on binary versus non-binary and family structures and stuff like that. So there's a lot of good conversations that happen in this spot in our room.
We were going to break out to kind of discuss the importance of the pledge to in our lives and how we might rewrite it. But since you just brought it up, and we have people here today who were very, very deeply involved in the Rainbow Kit, I thought it could also be an opportunity for you to, with the students, talk about how you use those materials. What are some of the like the highlights of the materials that you've explored this year?
He's grabbing the book.
Okay.
What about the stickers? What about the stickers under the like?
Yeah. I think I gave those to another teacher, and thankfully she's going to do it too. Yeah, we went through a couple of the books. This is one of the things we did from from the Rainbow Kit. It's called They, She, He, Me, and it just talks about pronouns. And it was really interesting. You know, kids are so different than when we were kids. They know so much more from TikTok and everything else. So, you know, I said, you know, and that kids, this concept of he versus she is called binary. And then they all went, and there's non-binary, and they were all volunteering stuff. It's amazing when you crack open that can of worms, what comes out. They know way more than you think they know. The question is it accurate? And does it need some tweaking from a responsible, caring adult? And it does, definitely. So we went through all that stuff, and then we went through this one too. And as you guys all probably know, you know, they're tabbed in there with discussion questions, which have all been approved by the district, right? So here's the we's and the they's, and we just talked about they. We practiced referring to somebody using they pronouns, what they mean to people and stuff like that. And then I went through the prompts that were appropriate. And through this book, Feels Good to Be Yourself, and just kind of normalized it. Because, and the powerful thing that for me came out of this, you know, I bought some pronoun stickers, and I let kids choose whether they wanted to wear them, or they wanted to put them on their name tags on their desk, or they wanted to put them inside their folders, whatever you want to do with it. Just owning your pronouns, if you even know. And some kids took multiple stickers. They weren't completely sure yet. That's fine too. Take as many as you want. Just to be open to the conversation that it's not a given, that it's a process to figure out what your pronouns are, and it's okay if it's not what people think. And I think the most impactful part of that for me was I knew it was going to be impactful for the kids who might be non-binary, but I didn't think about how much it would affect the kids who were binary, but it normalized it for them to the point where they're not going to be bullies. It's not going to be weird for them. They'll never view it as a weird thing because they wore their stickers for a week. Even if it was a boy wearing he still wore his stickers, which is tacitly identifying that you still need to tell somebody your pronouns, even if it looks like it's obvious. And that was a big cognitive shift, I think, for them.
Do you have any other stories to tell? I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. I do remember one from early on. But do you have any stories you can tell about surprises for you as a teacher bringing this work into the classroom, how you've seen it play out with the kids?
I remember when I was in 6th grade last year, we did this, and the great thing was that, you know, we did it right at the beginning of the year. The difference was last year in 6th grade, all 3 teachers were on board, fully on board. And that's not the case anymore. I'm the only one that's fully on board. We have one that could be, but she's utterly overwhelmed by dealing with 33 kids who are a year and a half behind because of COVID. And so she just doesn't feel like it's not a priority enough to add another thing to her plate. And then the third one doesn't believe it should be taught in school. So last year we had them all, and we did it from the beginning of the year, and we really had a bully-free environment. It was the most enlightened environment I've ever seen. In fact, the PE teacher said on one day, I remember, all right, boys over here, girls over here. And somebody lined up who was physically a girl in the boy section, and the teacher said, you're supposed to be over there. And all the kids jumped in and said, nope, that's a he. And it was awesome to see that. I didn't have to say anything. Just felt proud.
Can I ask the kids if they're comfortable? Do you feel like this? These are important lessons in the classroom? I can only see one of you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important because a lot of people don't often ask what your pronouns are, and a lot of people don't feel comfortable when people are making fun of them, and they're offended when they don't ask them what their pronoun is.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important to go over this stuff?
Yeah, in my opinion, it's important since some people may look like their pronouns are he and him, but some people think their pronouns as she and her. So I feel like it's good to learn it so that they don't feel offended of what you call their pronouns.
I also think it is important, and I thought this really impacted us because a lot of people were like wearing the stickers, and how we learned this was really amazing, and how we could know each other's pronouns and how we could use them as if like when we're talking to someone about them, we could use their pronoun and not just guess.
That was a really powerful presentation, you guys. I want to thank you so much for sharing this work. It's not like, it's not your typical school project. I think it's something that could have an impact for years to come as an inspiration. You know, you're really like, I hope that we all remember that we have to kind of think about the words that we're saying, especially the promises we're making. You know, they should make sense to us. So we make assumptions all the time. And as you get older, you'll see we make more and more assumptions and we stop questioning things. So thank you so much, all of you, and Dave, for being an inspiration. Oh my gosh, we need more of you. So do we have time, Nancy and Dave, to break out into groups to talk about the pledge a little bit?
You certainly do. I have to take these kids back to Boys and Girls Club. So,
Okay.
yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so proud of you. And I hope that this gets to the school board and the superintendent, and that everyone knows that you are powerful in what you do and the words you say. So thanks again. Can everyone unmic and give them a big round of applause? I want to hear some noise. Unmic.
Thank you.
Unmute.
Thank you.
Yeah, we always are applauding for you. See that? Thanks, guys. And one last thing I'll say is
Thank you.
these rainbow kits are getting a little dusty, and if they are, it's because we're so overwhelmed with coming back from COVID, and Jessica's nodding, knowing that. And I don't know if it's going to be like this forever, but right now it's really a chore to get people on board. And I wish it weren't, but God, even for me, and I'm 100% on board, it's so hard to fit it in. We're so far behind. Hopefully that changes, right? Take care, guys.
Thank you for your time and your innovation. I really appreciate it. Okay, I would say, let's see, we have 21 minutes left. I see some new faces. And so maybe before we go to breakout rooms, or we can vote whether to do thank yous and updates, or do breakout rooms first. If you want, after we get to know the new people, if you would like to do breakout rooms, please give me 2 wiggly fingers. If this is breakout rooms, if you would rather do thank yous and hear updates from other people, give me 1 wiggly finger. What do you all think? Breakout rooms or updates? We have, let's see, I'm going to count, keep them up so I can count, or I'm not going to know. So I'm counting the updates. I see some people don't have their cameras on, so I can't tell. Well, you know something, I'm getting kind of like half and half. We're going to try to do both. Okay, so I would like to just, if you are new to the group, would you please, if you feel comfortable, say your name and what work you are doing in equity. I think I say Joshua, who maybe I've never seen before, and Pastor Usuri and Amani. I don't know if you feel comfortable to do a quick presentation.
Hi. My name is Amani Hines. I am a junior at PUC. Professor Usuri is my boss, and I create posters and stuff like that, just to create awareness about different events that happen month to month, like Women's History and Asian History and Black History Month and stuff like that. And it is very cool and interesting to learn different things about different backgrounds. And for me to be a first-time student worker here. So I'm thankful and nice to meet you all.
Thank you so much, Amani. I'm so proud of the work you're doing, and thank you so much for participating. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hi. Yeah, sorry, I'm mostly just listening in. I'm at work right now. But yeah, I can introduce myself. I'm Joshua Murillo. I work at Napa Valley College, and I was just recently introduced to Hannah via our DEI coordinator and managed to make it to the dedication ceremony last weekend, which was lovely and powerful. And the work I do, I guess, the most easily describable is I started a murals project, and mostly around creating representative murals or murals representing underrepresented peoples, cultures, and stories. And yeah, that's the easiest thing to describe, I guess.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. And I just want to make sure that obviously you got the Zoom link, so somehow you got on the email list. But if you're not on the email list in the notes,
He's on my email list. We'll coordinate that. Joshua gets an award for most persistent.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
I get that. Yeah. Yes, thank you. I'll keep listening in, but I gotta keep working. Thank you.
I understand.
I can go next.
Okay, Genesis, thank you.
Hi, I'm Genesis. I work for LGBTQ Connection, and I was actually here with Bailey, who had to peace out. But can I also get on the email list if that's okay? Yeah, I was on a previous meeting standing in for Fernando, who's no longer with our org. But yeah, basically I work as a youth advocate and program coordinator, putting together events for the youth, building safe spaces. I work at schools all across Napa County, you know, everywhere from like elementary to high school. And I think next year we're even thinking about going to the college, what is it called? NVC. So yeah, just working with that age group to kind of help them navigate anything in life, from like mental health support, social networking, academic support, scholarship opportunities, leadership, volunteer opportunities, and just helping build leadership in our community.
Thank you so much, Genesis, for the important work you're doing. Pastor Essery, did you want to introduce yourself or?
Yes, my name is Tawan Ussery. I am with Pacific Union College, and as one of the officers of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And my colleague, Smyrna Garcia Ramirez, is a frequent participant of this meeting, and she invited me, and I'm very happy to be here. Was very happy to also hear about the students and the work that they were doing there with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm also involved Amani Hines, who I think you just heard from just a moment ago. So she's also here with us as well. So thank you for having us. We look forward to come more meetings like this and seeing what this group is all about. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. More representation from PUC. So super, super exciting. Representation from LGBTQ Connection, from Susquehanna Intertribal Council of Schools, the school district. So this is really, really exciting from Teach Truth. And so now that we know each other a little bit better, we'll do like a 5-minute breakout room session and share the Pledge of Allegiance. And then at the end, we'll end with updates of work and thank yous that people are doing. So let me see there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of us. So I will divide us into maybe 4 groups. So we're either in a group of 2 or 3 to share your thoughts on the Pledge of Allegiance, why it's important to you, what you thought about the students rewriting it, and its meaning, or whatever else you want to talk about and get to know each other. So we don't have a lot of time. So maybe if you take 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes each to share, and we'll go from there. Are there any questions or clarifications? Okay. Okay, so you'll be asked to join a breakout room. Okay. Hi, Cindy. Oh, and Joshua's working, so maybe he can speak or not speak. And we just lost Cindy. Let's see. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, I'm going to ask. Ooh. Okay, someone needs to. Okay, I have to remember how to add a person to a breakout room because now Smyrna is here. Ooh.
I was the only one in the breakout room.
So I wanted to
But people probably bailed.
check in because Smyrna came back. I mean, Smyrna joined our group again. It says that you're not joined, Charlie.
Me?
Did you press your little join button at the top of the screen?
I did.
Huh. So we will try it again.
Okay. I pressed it and then I was just sitting there by myself. Oh, there's Cindy. We could just do this. Maybe do it here.
So somehow the breakout rooms didn't work, and I think people are all coming back, and I'll try again.
I've never done that before. Hi, Cindy. How are you doing? Haven't seen you for a while.
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good.
Okay, so somehow Smyrna came back, and so I was missing her from a breakout room, and I was all alone. And so I will try this again.
Alone too.
What?
What were you gonna say?
I was alone too. I don't know how that happened. It
I was
weird.
alone.
So there's a button that you'll press to join
Right.
the group.
I did that.
But I don't see
If the group is this small, can we just share?
Yeah, why don't we just share? Yeah.
Instead of getting.
yeah, but I'm not sure. Are other people in a breakout room?
Well,
Oh.
they'll automatically be sent back.
Yeah. You closed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I closed it, but it looks like in room 1 is Amani, Genesis, and Jessica.
We're right here.
But they're here. Nancy, everyone's here.
Okay. What's the suggestion?
That we
Just
just
for us to discuss it here in the whole group.
Okay, sounds good. Who would
So,
like to start?
I was helpfully in a breakout room with my own daughter.
Well, that's
in the
good.
5th grade.
That's cozy.
And
Okay,
so I was able to ask her if she understood the regular Pledge of Allegiance.
well,
If she
no
understood.
one, he's right. No one understands indivisible. In fact, most children think it's invisible, which is not good for self-esteem. But I did think what I appreciated as a school board member was that he took the time to go look up ed code and make sure it's perfectly legal. And what most people don't realize is it's not like the Pledge of Allegiance isn't, the Sermon on the Mount. I mean, it's fairly new, and the business about one nation under God was added in the 50s. It wasn't in before. But it was part of the Cold War, fighting godless communism, that sort of thing. And it had something to do with some Jehovah's Witnesses in West Virginia, because, as you know, Jehovah's Witnesses don't say the pledge. And so it was a big kerfuffle. Under God was not in the original pledge.
Oh,
Well,
thank
I
you.
always think it's good to question everything. So I thought it was really nice that a teacher questioned it and then explored it with his students. And I appreciated them coming. That's why I jumped in the meeting today. I made sure to be here because I wanted to hear what it was about. And I was really impressed and happy that this is being brought up in the school district.
Thank you.
No, it was a good lesson for the children. They they got to learn what ed code is. And I like the fact that the pledge rhymed. Makes it easier to remember, and it's their own.
Do you think you can do something like this in your class, Jessica?
Absolutely. What I was just thinking about was the curriculum, the benchmark, the English language arts curriculum that we have in Napa Valley is for 5th grade. The first unit is about government. And a lot of the kids don't have an understanding of our government. And it would be great. It's totally appropriate. My 4th graders would enjoy looking at that as well. I think it's fabulous. And something that we recently talked about at the NVLA equity team meeting that we had was ed code. Half the teachers, probably more than half the teachers, don't even know any ed code unless it gets brought up because they get in trouble for something. Oh, ed code says this, but it really is an informational and educational experience. It's just something that we should have, know where we can access it, right? So that's been a current topic of conversation.
How would you, Jessica and Cindy, how did Dave just look it up, for instance? Is it just an online?
We go and do a search on Google.
Yeah, it's online, and then they have a subject, and you can type in, you can type in what you're looking for, and it will call it right up.
Yeah.
And then we also have, there's also board policy, but that's completely different. But that's also accessible online.
Is ed code, is it on our MVUSD site? Is it accessible on there?
You know something, I'm ashamed to say I don't know. It would be easy enough to look it up. It's
Right.
I just type in California
Ed code.
education code, and
Right.
that's where I go.
Yes, me too.
And have you ever seen one? Have you ever seen the ed code in person printed? It's huge. It's gigantic.
Oh, I can imagine it is.
It's a big fatty. I mean, I don't know. It's, as tall as I am or something like that. It's crazy. So it's easier to look it up online, but no, it's embarrassing. That I don't know if it's on the NVUSD site,
Right.
but I look up board policy all the time there.
Thank you. And then I saw that Dr. Musetti said that we're going to get an equity tab on the, I think, NVUSD website.
Yes.
That made me so happy. That was something we were advocating for year one. This is year 3 of our equity group. So it's like, hey.
This is true.
Cindy, you look tired.
I am tired. I just did it. You know what? I'm on the Master Gardeners, and I did something at American Canyon Middle School. I did put on a worm compost workshop outdoors. I know, with a science class. and real red wiggler worms and water and chicken manure and torn up newspaper and coffee grounds. And there were three of us there doing it, and it was so funny. And sure enough, you had one group that was they were wild, another group that was moderate, a couple of girls in there, and then I got lucky. I had the good group, but I don't know how that is. You know how they all clump themselves together, various energy levels. But it was funny. And I'm tired. And I had this one little boy hold up. We're showing him how to tear newspapers and strips, and he looks up and says, "This is so satisfying." I almost died laughing. I loved it.
That's great.
That was fun. But I am beat. I was outdoors. Yeah. At the beautiful marsh. It's so pretty down there today.
Yeah, it is an absolutely gorgeous day. But it's great to hear that you're doing hands-on work with the kids.
Oh no, it's great. And I mean, I was telling them about the old days when everybody threw everything into a landfill, and they're just, it's great. We're looking at all the things that would have been otherwise thrown out, coffee grounds, and look, you can put them in a compost pile.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, I said we do updates now, and then we'll do thank you so we can get it all done. Does someone have any exciting updates, or what are you doing in the classroom, in your organization?
Well, we got our Rainbow Club started at Canyon Oaks, and it just, another teacher joined me, our second grade teacher, Amy Bardwell. So she's kind of representing or handling if we have anything with a kindergarten through second grade. And I'm doing more like 3 through 5, but we're doing it all together right now. And it has just been one of the most lovely experiences of my teaching career. And I said today when we came together, because we had it today, I just said to them, I get so excited about our Rainbow Club days. We're only doing twice a month because we're both teachers, and you heard Dave, and we are so beyond overwhelmed. You would think that this would be an easier year, and it's not. We're more exhausted than ever before. So I wish we could do it every week. We don't have the time. We can't. So, but it is wonderful. And we're thrilled, and the kids are thrilled. They're saying too how excited they are. I have one little first grader that comes over almost every day to see me after school. Is it Rainbow Club today, Mrs. Rennie?
Oh, that's nice.
It's not, Keegan, but I can't wait to see you on the day that it is. So it's great. Yeah.
Jessica, you show up. You always show up. And so even when you have just a morsel of energy, it speaks volumes, and it ripples out. So thank you.
So important. And I also wanted to share that, you guys shared at our last meeting that Napa Valley Education Foundation, our association, was starting an equity team. And I reached out to Evan, and we just had our first meeting, I want to say a week and a half ago. So that's really exciting. That the union's going to start working on the equity and inclusion too. And I encourage them all to come. They couldn't come today, but they asked if it was recorded. So can you share the recording with me, Nancy? Because they would love to be able to watch it on their own time, just to see kind of what we do.
I can, only because I have an 18-year-old who knows how to do that.
Thank you.
We have some other updates.
I just put my update into the, whatever that is, the notes. South School is planning its 29th annual powwow, and I just put in the notes if you guys would calendar it. It's going to be September 30th and October 1st. It's our 29th annual. So the first one we did 29 years ago was the first public gathering of Native Americans in this region after the genocides that occurred here. So it's nice that we've been able to continually do it. I think we missed 1 year during COVID, but then because it's an outside event, it's free and open to the public. It's family friendly. We're always looking for volunteers.
Thank you so much, Charlie. I know it's it's March, but it's important to plan for September. There's so many activities going. So I like how proactive you are. It's wonderful. And are you in cohort 11 now?
Yeah, I'm just starting to organize cohort 12. That's going to start. I guess I could put that in there too. It's going to start in July. We don't start anything in June because that month is always so crazy. So it'll go June through November. And that's going well. We're, through the cohorts, we're participating in the state truth and listening sessions that are happening through Governor Newsom's office. And those are going well. They're actually using our cohort, which was a state model. It was a pilot project for the state of California. And the way that we're presenting it, kind of like a crime scene, what, when, where, dates, maps, all that stuff, that'll be replicated as state model with input from all the tribes that are participating now in the truth and listening sessions that are happening all over the state. And that's going to go on until 2025. So it might be another 4 or 5 years after that the tribes then are having curriculum that's developed through the state with the different tribal regions of the state getting put into the curriculum. So that's something Suskel's worked on since 1972. So it's very exciting to be a part of it and see it being actualized with the budget through, Governor Newsom's office. And he has a California tribal liaison. He's the first governor who's ever done that. And Christina Snyder is from the Dry Creek Pomo and is a criminal lawyer. So she liked the model that we had developed. I said we develop it like a crime scene, who, where, what, and when, with maps and dates and who the perpetrators were. And so that's a model that'll be replicated, not necessarily the exact way. It'll be, because now the technology is changing so fast, it's going to look probably a lot snazzier than what we are doing. But ours is still a good introduction. Sonoma, I think I'd shared that before. They've changed and they are changing their curriculum. The city of Santa Rosa has hired a full-time liaison to working with the tribes there in Sonoma. The cohort 9 and 10 were mostly people from Santa Rosa and Sonoma County. And it's October, the Indigenous Peoples Day at Santa Rosa Junior College. The cohort 9 did a presentation with the permission from the tribes in the region, and they offered a policy of apology and a proclamation of reconciliation with the tribes. They apologized for their lack of knowledge that the tribes existed there with them in Sonoma County, and they promised to do better and to integrate the tribes into all the judiciary planning and procedures going with each city. Each city in Sonoma went up at the microphone and they said, on behalf of Roanoke Park, on behalf of Windsor, on behalf of Santa Rosa, on behalf of, what all the cities, I don't know, Sonoma, all the cities in Sonoma County had a representative who publicly apologized and said that they want to support this declaration of reconciliation with the tribe. So that was a huge win over there. And so I'm still kind of working with DEI stuff based on that because of that, but mostly Madonna now is a tribal person who lives in Santa Rosa. She's the one being designated as the tribal liaison. So that's real exciting. Hopefully Napa will get up to speed with some of that and do the same, some similar actions.
It's time.
It's way past.
Who was it from cohort 9 who was leading that, Charlie?
Who was leading the cohort?
Who was
9?
leading that? No, I mean, I know you were leading it, but who was leading that action in?
You know what? I didn't get the names because that cohort was really big. We had about 30 people participating, and then once they started working, they were working with Brenda Fleiss with Hawk, which is she's a Native American Studies program person at Santa Rosa Junior College, and that's another thing with working with the DEI at Napa Valley College. Patricia, Dr. Moonsami was part of the hiring committee, and they recruited, and it's the first hire of a Native American president in the California college system.
Yeah.
So that was a really big step with hopefully a commitment to, develop curriculum. And I think Napa College is one of the few colleges in Northern California that does not have a Native American Studies program. And that's something we've been advocating for since 1992 about, for them to hire a Native American professor to develop a program. We have supported and worked with the ethnic studies for 20 years. And we were always told by the teachers and faculty and past presidents that would happen, but it hasn't. But I think that happening in Sonoma County, which is just a neighboring county, that's going to put pressure for Napa County to kind of get up to speed a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Well, thank you so much for that update. That is a wonderful note to leave on. Nancy, did you have anything more? I think we're at time, a few minutes over.
We're at time, but I just wanted to tell you that Hannah and I are on the DEI committee, that Dr. Musetti is starting again. I was part of it 2 years ago, and it's through COVID and changes. Well, she's ready to start it again, so I'm excited to be part of that work. I wanted to thank JT Thompson for organizing the Napa Black History Month celebration. They said, if we want to know where changes need to be made, ask the students. So ask the Native American students, ask the African American students, the AAPI students, ask them what's going well, what's not going well. And that's always been a goal of this group, to see where we want to see change. Hannah Henry and Teach Truth for the Mary Ellen Pleasant ceremony. I went to a presentation by John McCormick. I went to school with him in junior high and high school for writing a book about Chinese history in the Napa Valley. So we have more to put in our new curriculum for Napa Valley Unified School District. Alex Brown, the Napa County Office of Education, sponsored Alex Brown, and they wrote a book about the hidden history of Napa Valley and African Americans. And so I bought it. I haven't read it yet. So that's so exciting. And then Patricia Moonsamy for hosting Tech and Desiree Harp of the Mishawal Wapos to give a 4-part series on the Native Americans right here in Napa. And I think that is all. So a lot of wonderful things happening. Thank you so much for coming. Our next and last meeting of this school year is May 18th. So please put that on your calendar. And I want to thank Hannah, my co-leader, and Dave, our other co-leader, for their leadership, and all of you for coming in your leadership.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to see you, Cindy.
Oh, your microphone.
To see all of you. Bye-bye. See you in May, if not before.
That sounds wonderful. Thanks so much.